Click below to watch the original Sins video, or to buy the Emoji movie, because we all know you want to, come on.
Sometimes my life is like an ocean, and I feel like I'm just going.
Hey, which one of you assholes took a break from texting to make and throw this paper airplane? God damn it, if you're going to be a part of this cliched image of current adolescence, you'd better get the hell back onto Tinder.
So the problem with sinning this sin is that you've made it quite unclear what you think the actual sin is, which is already a problem in itself, so, sin. The first possibility is that you're sinning this movie's cliched representation of today's youth. And if that is what you're doing, why would you do that by drawing attention to something that doesn't fit within the cliche? The paper airplane, the one you have a giant fucking arrow pointing to, is not the sin here. It's everything around it. And does that not seem a little bit counterintuitive to you? The second possibility is that you've decided to sin the aeroplane because you don't think kids do that kind of thing anymore. And let me tell you, unless they've stopped doing that since I left school last year, they still do that. The third and final possibility is the one that strikes me as most likely, and that is that you just said some words relating to what you saw, didn't really think about them, and then rolled the dinger.
That's my home, Textopolis.
Wait, why isn't it called Emojiville or Emojiwood? This assumes all text lives here, but there are no numbers or letters to be found.
Jeremy, this movie is infamously bad. You should not have to scrape the bottom of the barrel to come up with sins. It's fairly obviously called Textopolis because it exists within the texting app.
Merry Christmas! It's still September, Tim.
First off, why does the Christmas tree have an actual name?
To distinguish him from other Christmas trees.
And why the would it be Tim?
Because Tim is a name.
And does it matter that it's September?
Yes.
This fortune cookie asshole has clearly never seen a retail store after August.
August? Are you serious? No. Retail stores start stocking Christmas stuff at mid-October at the earliest.
Crier always has to cry.
Has to or decides to? And why exactly? Yes, I know it's the entire foundation of what we're going to loosely call a plot here, but a few seconds ago you said,
For the faces, the pressure is on.
why would the pressure be on if they have no choice?
Clearly they have no choice because the pressure is on. If a guy points a bazooka at you and says, "Give me your hat or I fire," and you know he'd do it too, you know this guy, his name's John, he's fucking crazy, you would be under a lot of pressure to give that guy your hat. Some would even say that you're under so much pressure that you have no choice but to give John your hat. And that's, you know, what's going on here.
My parents are total pros.
Parents? Great, now I have to think about how emojis reproduce.
Jeremy, do you remember less than a minute ago when you said this?
Has to or decides to?
Yeah, that. You don't have to think about these emojis reproducing. This may come as a shock to you, but just because someone introduces their parents to you doesn't mean you then have to imagine their parents having sex.
Places, please. Emojis to your queue.
I know the movie needs to show these assholes doing stuff other than getting scanned, but why the hell aren't they always in their queues?
So they can live their actual lives.
Malfunction?
So I guess Alex, who's supposedly addicted to using his phone and was literally just texting, is taking a convenient break from using emojis while all this plays out, right?
You know, maybe he did. But I'd say it's probably more likely that he got, like, an actual phone error. You know, because his phone made an error.
For crying out loud, abandoned luggage, that had better not be my leftover Chinese food.
Wait, is the abandoned luggage emoji eating actual leftover Chinese food?
Yes.
Or is this an emoji of Chinese food?
No.
And if it's an emoji of Chinese food, does that mean the Chinese food emoji is also in the loser's lounge?
It would, but it's not, so it doesn't.
And what the f*** is up with the pizza?
Nothing, it's normal pizza.
Pizza's gotta be an incredibly popular emoji.
I checked. Yes, I actually checked, and no, not really, it isn't. It's currently the 130th most popular emoji, which kind of makes it a middling emoji. Certainly not incredibly popular.
Where is he even storing those? Some sort of invisible back pouch? Are hand emojis marsupials? And are the finger puppets also emojis? Can someone explain the goddamn rules of this f***ing universe?
Jeremy. You claim you want someone to explain the rules of this universe to you, but I'd be fairly willing to wager that if I sat you down and said to you, "Jeremy, I'm here to explain to you the rules and laws of the Emoji Movie universe," that you would be less than thrilled.
Let the Silicon Valley product placement commence. F***ing Crackle? What kid would have Crackle instead of Netflix or HBO Go? Did he specifically want to watch Jupiter Ascending, and that was the only service that carried it?
Let's be honest here. No matter what video streaming service was shown on this kid's phone, you would have sent it for product placement. And if they made up their own video streaming service, you would have sent it for being a discount Netflix.
Also, nothing about these bots told us that they had cameras in the first f***ing place. What else did they do that we're not aware of? Turn into liquid metal?
So, these robots that can see, how else were you proposing that they do that without cameras? Did you think they had human biological eyes?
What else did they do that we're not aware of?
Oh my god, maybe they can hear too!
1/3 of the way into this movie, and we just now rejoin the real-world protagonist, who we then won't see again for another 30 minutes.
He is in no way a protagonist. He's simply a plot device that allows the story to happen. We're only shown as much of him as we need to be because he's not the focal point of the film.
I wanted to say it because it was my idea. You know, women are always coming up with stuff that men are taking credit for.
But he's a f***ing emoji with very little indication he's masculine. Does she see a penis that I'm missing?
Remember folks, if you ever meet Jeremy, be sure to show him your genitalia, otherwise he will have no idea what gender you are. He can't tell from your voice, the way you look, the way you present yourself, whether you're male or female.
My precious!
It's as if this movie heard my earlier joke about Lord of the Rings and then realized there was yet another pop culture reference they could cheaply cram down in there.
So let me get this straight for a second. When you make a Lord of the Rings reference, that's a-okay. But when the Emoji Movie does it, that's fucking cheap.
What? I'm a hand! It's a big red button!
Even though High Five hasn't been shown obsessively pressing buttons throughout this whole journey, this is supposed to provoke a laugh.
Okay, so that wasn't a funny joke. I'm not going to contest you on that. However, the suggestion that it would somehow be funny if High Five had been shown compulsively pressing buttons through the whole movie is a dumb suggestion, and you should feel dumb.
Nice! Shake it, Gene!
I always wondered what that loud sound was I heard in late July 2017, and now realize it was several million parents sitting in movie theaters collectively groaning at this scene.
You know that not all movie screenings are simultaneous, right?
Did you realize that on the first emoji set, a woman can either be a princess or a bride?
But wait, Smiley is a girl. Mrs. Meh is a girl. Plus, I thought you just were what you were. In the logic of the universe, you aren't a princess because you're a girl, you're a princess because you're a princess.
But clearly all the emojis do have genders, so what you talking about? So the sin total was 26 sins. And the punishment will be, you know what? I don't think we need a punishment today. I think having watched the Emoji Movie is punishment enough. Anyway, before we get into the end segment for today, I've got some announcements. First of all, I've decided to do a second Q&A. If you want to ask me any questions, then either leave them in the comments of this video or tweet them to me at CinemaSinsSins, link in the description. I will try to answer as many questions as I can, but I will be looking at the ones on Twitter first. Oh, also, I'll be posting the answers to the questions on the JXE channel rather than this channel. Just because I think a Q&A is the kind of content that fits better over there. Also because it's a great way to cheekily promo my other channel. But let's not talk about that. The second thing I want to say is, CinemaSinsSins Part 2 is now in the works. Although it probably don't expect it to be out by April 1st. It probably won't be out by then. But maybe. Third and finally, I've just released a new hard EDM track to my music channel. So if you like these kinds of sounds, click the link on screen. Okay, after that, let's move on to an end segment. It's time for a teaser, which this week I'm doing before the end segment, because the end segment is really just for very regular viewers. In a nutshell, it's basically just me saying a big thanks to all of my regular commenters, with a little extra bantery fluff thrown in just because why not. Anyway, here's the teaser. See if you can work out which movie next week's CinemaSinsSins video will be based on from these clues. Here's a very blurry version of the thumbnail from the original CinemaSins video. It's a movie that's based on a book. Kind of. And your final clue is that it's animated. Anyway, moving on. Recently, I got bored, and so I did something. And when I finished it, I thought, hey, maybe it'd be fun to share this with the CinemaSinsSins audience. So I made a spreadsheet, and then I went looking through all my most recent comments and picked out names from it that I recognise. The aim was to pick out all the names of regular commenters on CinemaSinsSins. And I don't just mean the obvious 3 who comment on every video, which I appreciate. That's Hobbity, Drew, and Thierry, if you're new. I wanted to pick out all my regular commenters. And I think I managed to, although I can't be sure because there's no way to actually check that I've got all of them. What I did next was I counted how many times each of them had commented using methods, and then I used those numbers, how many times people had commented, as what is effectively a score, in a quest to find CinemaSinsSins' most regular commenters. And here they are, in order, the people who have commented most on my videos. In 10th place, we have Verjobs, I don't know how to pronounce your name. In 9th place, we have Indranil Kukde, whose name I had to copy and paste. In 8th place, we have One Marcel Films, Venus. In 7th place, we have Lizzy. Thanks Lizzy. In 6th place, we have Grace, who, last time I tried to pronounce her full YouTube name, told me not to try, and to just go with Grace. So, thanks for saving me that struggle, Grace. In 5th place, we have Owen Muller. Thanks for commenting so much, you made the top 5, Owen. I mean, it really does mean a lot to see names I know in the comment section, so thank you. And now 4th place, which is the only position with any suspense left in it, because we all know who the top 3 are, don't we? In 4th place, we have Grace Kim 1. Isn't it kind of weird that 2 of my top 10 commenters are called Grace? That's a pretty strange coincidence, right? Right. And now, Hobbity, Drew, and Thierry, are you ready to see what order you came in? I want to see a full-on fight about this in the comments, by the way. You know, I want friendships ruined, blood, tears, anger, pain. You know, I want people sworn revenge on. I want death. You know, if no one dies, it's really not a proper fight, is it? Anyway, you came in this order. I would just like to say a huge thanks to everyone on this list and everyone else who comments regularly. Your comments do mean a lot, and it really makes this whole YouTube experience much more rewarding. Thank you.